Okay. Is my mic working? I hope. Uh, okay. Okay, that was a good decision. But I do have some life-saving cooldowns, so it's okay. It's okay. I have this big boy as well. This is my last resort. Uh, ah, my nose is so stuffed, it's crazy. I was talking to people in world chat like this person here. Uh, and he told me that it's his fi fifth time trying going again as a warrior, and that's impossible to go to 60 um, in one go as a warrior. And so I added. I'm sad that I didn't add like because I talked privately with them after, and this is another person. Um, and this might also be some other people, but I'm not sure. I forgot. No, actually, this one is a crafter of mine. Uh, so I did add French rock. Okay. Uh, sorry, my nose is really bad. Oh, Evis. Yeah. Okay. I've heard Stitches is moving around. What is going on? Are they dueling? Oh, what the hell? I was like, what is happening? Is okay. Oh, this is the other farm. Is that one dangerous? I forgot. I haven't really done much questing. I think it is kinda right. I think I should just go STV. I feel like get rid of package. Okay. This is unfortunate, really, but this would have been 22 attack power, so yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, but at 32, there is no chance of me joining a group, really. Is this guy waiting for Stitches? He's probably gonna blast him or something. Oh, cool, some new herbs. Herbalism isn't my problem right now. It's that I've seen some ooh, two spawned. I've seen some recipes that were like above my skill. For example, minor agility, and they were uh, for items that are level 25, which means that I'm like some people can craft like let's say this item when they are 27 or even 25. Like some do it at 30 or 35 or even 40. You know, like me, like being almost 10 levels late with their consumes. But but when you start your professions, you're kind of uh, at the best. I guess when I was doing leatherworking, I was really even above what I could do because of this. Like I would just skin everything and make it into items. So I would literally have like higher level items waiting for me in the bags. But right now it's kind of opposite. Let's look for stitches. I don't want to be the go again warrior, really. Like, no offense. I've read like some people were telling me how they died, and I feel really bad. It was mostly situations that were out of their power, like inside dungeons, uh, griefing, stuff like that. So let's start it. I don't know his official name. Oh, Wild Sailboom. I need that one for the, yeah, defense. I completely missed questing in this part. And to be honest, I didn't even quest in the, uh, what is it, eastern part, like I should have, I guess. I mean, I could go back and do all the quests. I would probably gain 2 levels just from that. But I don't know. I'm just kind of I just kind of want to go. Let me climb. I just want to go. What? Why is it not letting me climb over this? What is this? I'm like uh, completely blind. I don't even know where I'm jumping from all the leaves, and my nose is closed. I can't breathe properly, and I'm falling constantly. God damn it! I was there, and I have what is this? This person didn't. What? I've never seen this. It's like a viewer and his half. It's like he didn't even view for a second, like half a second. What? That's crazy. Can you please? Where's the item? Where is it? Does it not exist? Show me. Where's the item? Is it up there somewhere in the sky? Fucking flying flowers. Oh, of course, the team is going for it. Look at them pick it in a second. Oh, bunch of page rails. Okay, no stitches. Want to sell. Ooh. Oh, is that the, yeah, the yellow. Uh, okay. I will need these for tents. You will see, I'll show you. Heavy armor. Can I make this yet? No, I need to buy. Oh. But I also need strange kilt. Oh my god, my I'm sorry, I need to use a spray. My nose is completely Ah, okay, this seems like an emergency. I know when pharmacies work, but I literally I'm out of my nasal spray, and uh, this is really trying to open this bottle to try to like how do you open this goddamn thing? It's gonna break my and if this bottle breaks, it's gonna make me bleed everywhere. Ah, ah, I'm gonna hurt myself. I feel like. What the hell am I doing, man? None of this is working for nothing. Okay. Oh my god. Ah, screw this. I literally cannot do anything about this. Let me. I'm sorry. I can't spray, man. My My freaking headphones dropped. Ain't that the thing? I brought some food. Ah, I'm gonna cut this whole thing apart. Yeah, shit. Yeah, now you're opening. Let me try to open this other one. Or should I? Can I put it back one? Oh, okay. I poured the liquid and let's try to put it back on. Yep. Ooh, I got it. Oh my god. Oh my shit. Okay. Okay, sorry, this was a mess. Shall we? Let me see. So the quests here should be Curzon. What? No. Okay. Second rebellion. Okay. Can do that. This is find the 4 tablets. Where are those? Oh, yeah, that's a hard quest. Okay, I'll just go do the standard tiger panther routine. Oh, I can't wait to get to that part when I'm level 40 something. Mostly because I'll be wearing plate and stuff like that. And I'll be 10 levels closer to not having to go again. Okay, I got the oil prepared. I've done it all on softcore, so nobody's confused. Ah, damn. What am I missing? Oh, I need to buy like a torch or something. No? What is it then? Sturdy rope? Okay. I die. I think I picked. Oh yeah, this was a wrong pick, but it's okay. It's some good food. Let me see. Okay, so I need to learn. Oh, that's expensive. Damn it. Everything is so expensive, and I'm so broke. It's incredible. It's like beyond anything. I've never been so broke. My softcore character, I just sent. Uh, I need, I don't know, 1 gold. I sent 100. Now I don't have a dime on me. I cannot help it. I mean, I could if I picked skinning. My first ever character on Turtle was a hunter. and I was a skinner, and I think uh, before before even hitting level 60, I had a mound and like 350 gold just from selling the scraps because I was mostly killing mobs because I'm not well acquainted. I wasn't at that time like so like well acquainted with the quests and everything. So I would just get stuck and then I would go and kill mobs for hours. Weirdly, like some of the things that people ask for and are like needed in the chat and everything, like for some weird reason, have I've been like playing this one, but I would like log my because I haven't played Turtle for a little. I was on the hardcore official realms, so I came to some of my like let's call them old characters, and they randomly had like some of these items. I didn't even know from where. So let's see how I can handle these. Uh, White slime. Oh, it's okay. It's the same. Although I shouldn't play with fire, but I'm doing fine. What? Somebody's selling epics. Oh yeah, this is the thing that I've seen. Uh, let's see. I know this place it has those, yeah. Oh, where is that guy? This is incisiveness. Okay, good. This is the kind of thing that kills you. I'm stepping on a fine line. Not too smart for me. 20 silver each? What? Uh, how many can I make? And what do I need again? Okay, these I have like infinite amounts. I guess these are from like just herbing anything. This zone needs a layer. I feel like I'm missing whirlwind at least. I'm missing it real bad. Uh, but yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes I feel when I come here, my experience is like greater. I don't know. It might be like, uh, what is it called? Like I'm tripping, I guess. Pretty much. I guess I'll fight in battle. Oh, I got talents. I am like spending them on stuff that I don't know. Meaning, I don't want to spend. Shit, they should respawn here because I don't know what is the exact, cooldown of this one. So if this would even help, and then cooldown of your intercept. Huh, I guess not. But then again, what should I do though? Life loot. Okay, what's that? Life loot. Oh, it's a thing, man. Where is it? Okay. Oh, I can heard it. Oh, then I'm at. Yeah, nice. I earned it. That's cool. That's good. Uh, oh, there's two. Then there will be two here. I catch all these. Oh, there's three. Should I go crazy? Ah, I'm not here to die. Or maybe I'll have to die. I did promise I'll prove those people wrong. But the back of my mind, I did want to have like some deaths on my, on my little gray thing. But I don't care. I'm not getting views or anything, so I'll do it for my own satisfaction. For the alliance. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, I'm done. Oh. I guess when I change stances, that's the worst. So that talent, where is it? It's this, right? Okay, so when I turn to arms, I'll have this better. Ah, nose is killing me. I'm so sorry. Bloodthirst should be crazy though, right? Can I wonder if I can keep, but I don't think so, right? Like keep these for I don't know, it just kind of feels when I'm here my XP goes faster. Like I don't know, I just feel like I was at zero just a minute ago. I don't know. As I said, I'm probably just imagining it, imagining, imagining it. My nose is so bad at forgetting how to speak. Okay, I need to get locked in here. getting a bit blasted that I'm missing. See? But I need to go crazy a bit. Should I play something? I don't have much to yap about. I'll probably do a few quests and then I'll just because this is uh, apparently, I mean not apparently, but what I'm trying to do is like attempt at doing 60 on my first time as a hardcore. So uh, like it's not something that is unheard of. Like I bet there are a bunch of people who have done that. But let me see. If I can do the route where I like avoid any danger, that would actually be pretty nice. I can buy it, but to hell with it. Okay, let's level survival. So this is the profession that pops those tents you've probably seen around. So you level it by buying cheap goblins oil from a I've had it on stream from a vendor that's inside of the dock downstairs. There's that room where there's a guy who sells bows and the engineering supplies and stuff, and the guy who sells engineering supplies sells you cheap goblin oil and together with sturdy rope and something here like pile of wood or something. Yeah, this thing. You turn in this quest and he teaches you survival, and this is pretty much you'll just be buying endless amounts of these, crafting them into torches until you're 50 skill, and you sell. As you can see there, the price is like destroyed. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. You also need to keep the pace so your bags don't get full like mine, because mine are super small. You still have those 8 slots. Not so lucky with the bags. I have only one 10 slot. But at this point, I feel like some people will mage rave. How much is that? 12 slot, right? And with silk, you get 10 slots. So I'd imagine that some people would have like 10 slot bags or even 12 at this level. Ah, okay, so more than 20. Increase spirit. Okay. Oh, it's turned green. Okay. What? Uh, let's try. Okay, one skill. Come on, just give me the skill. Damn it. Oh, messed up a bit there. Okay, this on the ball. I learned as you can see, it's nothing special. Just do this, and then you buy like a stack. But then you also, I'm broke. How many do I need per one? Okay, I'll buy 5. I'm super broke. So at this point I can make, ooh, that is big, that is big. That's incredible to see nobody killing tigers. Now he's gonna charge me and stop me, that's incredible. Okay, there's many new herbs I've never seen before. And I'm afraid they're gonna be like over my skill. Yeah, gold tone. Yeah, Cutker's Whisker. Yeah, that is like totally above me. Which is super scary. It shouldn't be like that. I just came from Duskwood. So, I don't know what's that about. Anyways, this is my routine now. So, I pick this from my routine. I'll kill everything and then I, of course, pick this one. And then I'm Omega stronger. And voila.
Taj čips tamo skroz gore, tvoj. Možda sam 2 mala, ne mogu ja to da dohvatim. Pa nije dobro.
Who died? What? 40 10 10 equals. Who's that? What? Let me see. Oh, it was a warrior. Oh, damn it. Was it? Wait. Scavengers. Oh yeah, this is a warrior. God damn it. He's so much stronger than me. It's 43 vanquishers. Sword of Omen. Obsidian Brooch. Uh, there's some pretty good. Damn. Scarlet leggings. Torso gauntlets. Damn it. He had a bunch of blues on him. But these are like really good quest items. This one gives 6 stamina, 8 strength, shoulders. Wooden scale. Okay, I think that's from Welling Caverns. This guy was stacked. His weapons are pretty much best. Best. For our level, his level, whatever. Yeah, because you can't hold Or who? I'll. So he needs this one. Dagger in the... What? Well, that is not a guarantee. Uh, what is the new realm? I'm kind of now thinking if I waited a little, I might have like streamed uh, leveling on the new server. But the only thing I would have missed is the Roblox for a while. But yeah, people are fast to clear. Uh, oh damn right, the Farian. I guess on Ixia would pop, but it would pop a bunch, I guess. I don't know how other warriors play. Like, I cannot say. So I just. So I couldn't. Wait, what? Stop whining. It's. What? Hmm. Not many people here. But Panthers are getting killed still. Is the guy in trouble? No, what the hell? No, he's renew like heals. Pretty big. Assume the spirit. Nah, that's not that crazy. Where is a horde? Oh, okay, might be doing the panther. Is that her? I'm curious what it is. Can I see it through the... Where would it be like? I don't know. Public friendly is okay. These actually, when you get into... Oh, let me make it better. When you get into Strange Unveiled, the loot from the beasts actually get a bit more pricey. So you can sell it to vendors and oh, sorry. Come on, it doesn't work. It didn't work for some reason. This is incredible. Okay, let me do this. Okay. So they get more pricey, as you can see, like this. This is almost one gold. Like, damn it. Like, You know, that was like up until a second ago, I was struggling, even getting like 10 silver. But then there's like a big jump, and then you get like items that sell for up to, let's say, like pretty much like this. Like, I don't know if they're exactly 1 gold items, but I know there are almost 1 gold items dropped from like gorillas, and they drop like up to 3. Like, let's say they drop their, I don't know, not fangs. Fangs are like useless, but they drop their fur patch, I guess their hair. I know they drop, and some third thing, like let's say their fangs or their teeth or something like that, and you can vendor those for like a gold per 10 or something. By the way, this talent is the best thing from this tree. I don't know if yeah, it's not that I don't know, it's actually this is like an original thing. I think it pretty much made playing Fury as viable because it wasn't before. You would like need to run arms from the get-go or like start with a sword and a shield because your offhand would miss so much that people would even go uh, as far as like a level 40 something and then switch to Fury, sorry, not Fury. Oh, I need to go back. So my Fury weapons would be Vanquisher sword and sword over. Oh, free! Damn it! Somebody's gonna be lucky. Why is he killing these? What? It's 30. I mean, okay, it's 35, but for what reason? The reason escapes me. Okay, well, you've heard the man. Oh, damn it. Oh, I missed. Crazy. Damn, does he have the Renew on or something? No? Is he? Yeah, I thought so. He could not be hardcore with that way of playing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I kind of feel that this area is dangerous. I don't know why. Maybe I should bail. I don't know, I'm just getting bad vibes all around. And I've always told myself to listen to my instincts. Mm. So what's it gonna be? Am I gonna fold my tail? Or is it really folding your tail? I'm gonna sunder your armor, brother. And now you're like a priest without a shield. Okay, let's sunder your armor. And you're already a priest who got kicked. Ooh, the drop chance is like terrible. Oh, I didn't pick, because I was killing those worgens, I didn't pick any wool cloths, so I haven't leveled any first aid, which is mega sucks. Can I level without first aid at all? Yeah, I'm definitely not pulling more than one mob here. This is, yeah, this is scuffed. I can just feel it. It's scuffed as hell. Somebody bought the X of Tip Woods something, I don't know. Okay. Uh, what is it? This one is red. Yeah, why am I even like checking? That's what this is for. What is he like? Why is he going like that? He expecting some combat from me. Apple broken. Oh, wait, what? And that's all. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, oof, easy. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Let's see. Tiger meat from Panthers. Right? Did they drop that too? Of course, it doesn't sell anything useful. Oh, I'm sorry. Why is there not a rebel soldier? What? Why isn't there a flight master? Kind of blows my mind. Right? People always yapping about some random things. I'm sorry, I'm using my left of my nasal spray. I should have went to the pharmacy to pick it up, but I think it's too late now. So how do I level even? Should I throw a full day stream tomorrow? Who's even gonna respond to me? I got no chat. Kind of just talking to myself. Hello. To what end even? I'm just gonna play something. One sec. Fix these options. Cancel on my mic. Bye bye.
Police department. Police department.
Hello, help!
Yes.
Please!
This is 37-year-old Jimmy Allen. Jimmy just discovered his wife's body in the basement of their Michigan home. 18 minutes earlier, he placed this 911 call.
Okay, what's going on there?
She's in the basement.
Somebody called.
Pulled her up. I tried to give her CPR. I pulled her up and
The dispatcher instructed Jimmy to continue giving Amy CPR while several units rushed to the scene. Officer Ben J. Horn was the first to arrive. Despite the desperation in Jimmy's voice during the 911 call, it was eerily silent as Officer Horn approached the residence. However, as soon as the officer made himself known, Jimmy began crying out for help.
Police department. Police department.
hello, help!
Yes.
Please!
Jimmy was found in the basement, sobbing over his unresponsive wife's body. As he grieved, he continued performing CPR.
How long's she been down? Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea?
Can't be more than about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Oddly enough, Amy didn't have any significant injuries, except for a very faint mark near her jugular. By 8:57 p.m., more officers arrived along with several EMTs. They piled into the basement to take over Jimmy's life-saving efforts. Now that Jimmy had a moment to process what was going on, he dramatically ripped his shirt off and broke down on the basement floor. He was able to quickly compose himself and continued to observe the EMTs aiding Amy. Jimmy alternated between complete composure and emotional outbursts several times.
You want to come upstairs with me real quick? Okay.
As you can see, Jimmy seemed calm as he walked up the basement stairs, but as he entered the kitchen, he unleashed his wrath onto an unsuspecting bowl of potato chips. The officers weren't sure what to make of this erratic behavior, especially since they had no clue what led up to the discovery of Amy's body.
Did she make any statements at all?
Jimmy gave the officers a quick summary of his and Amy's night. At around 6:30 p.m., the couple dropped their daughter and her friend off at a nearby high school football game and then headed downtown for some drinks. While at a bar, they got into an argument and Amy ended up walking home alone while Jimmy drove home in their car. When Amy got back home, the arguing continued, so he left her alone to cool off. He went upstairs and threw on the Jim Carrey film Ace Ventura. When it was time to pick up their daughter, he went to check on Amy again.
I was irritated and I didn't hear anything, so I went back down and checked on her.
Does Amy have a history of anything like this? Nothing in her background at all?
Ever.
Okay.
The officers found it strange that Amy would escalate things to this degree out of nowhere. But nobody seemed as shocked as Jimmy.
I'm hoping I wake up, dude.
Unfortunately for Jimmy, this was a nightmare that he wouldn't be waking up from. But suddenly, an EMT emerged from the basement with a glimmer of hope.
Huh? What?
Says she's fighting.
No.
The EMTs were able to re-establish a faint pulse, so Amy was still clinging to life. But when Jimmy realized that his wife was still breathing, he seemed frustrated by this promising news. His reaction immediately set off red flags for the officers. Jimmy then left the room momentarily to grab a new shirt, and when he came back, he called his daughter Ashley to inform her of the emergency.
We had an emergency. Don't go anywhere. There's an emergency. Don't go anywhere. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Jimmy didn't want Ashley to panic over the phone, so he kept his composure and didn't share any details of what had happened. But right after that phone call, he called his parents and spilled his heart out.
Oh, I don't know what to do, Mom. I don't know what to do. Oh, this is terrible. I gotta talk to the cops.
Although Jimmy was crying his heart out, the officers spotted no moisture on his face at all. They decided to have him wait outside, away from the crime scene. Shortly after, Amy was placed on a stretcher and taken to the back of an ambulance. They rushed her to the ProMedica Herrick Hospital, just 2 minutes away. The EMTs were finished in the basement, so the officers headed back inside to do further investigation. Now that the dust had settled, they immediately noticed something strange. The basement ceilings were very low, so low that they began to question the logistics of Jimmy's story. Amy was 5 foot 6 inches, and the basement ceiling wasn't much higher, roughly 7 feet. But rather than jumping to conclusions, the investigators decided to wrap things up for the night. The next morning, Officer Horn and his partner returned to the Allen household to ask Jimmy some more questions. They hoped to get a better understanding of what led up to the incident. According to Jimmy, the family started their day in high spirits by making breakfast together and getting Ashley ready for school.
Just listening to music and making me lunch and breakfast, smile on her face.
At around 7:30 a.m., Jimmy left for work and Ashley left for school, while Amy stayed home. Jimmy decided to leave work early, so around 12:30 p.m., he came home and took a nap. Then, at 2:45 p.m., the school day was over and it was time to pick up Ashley.
Ashley had a friend over, Kayla, after school. Amy picked her up and I was just kind of in bed. And they came here, she made everybody dinner, 6:30. We rolled out to take them to the game.
After a nice family dinner, everybody hopped in the car and drove to the Tecumseh High School for the football game. As mentioned before, Jimmy and Amy dropped off the girls and decided to head downtown to go bar hopping. They first went to Ember's Bar and Grill, then to JR's Hometown Grill and Pub shortly after. Investigators would later confirm this part of Jimmy's story by obtaining the security footage from JR's. Apparently, nothing seemed out of the ordinary until Jimmy brought up the idea of selling their house and moving down south. Since the family had just moved to Michigan from Florida 1 year earlier, Amy was not fond of this idea. She began texting someone on her phone and became dismissive of Jimmy's comments.
She said a couple of times that, oh, that's not going to work. And she's normally positive and was sort of down and negative. And we started to disagree about it. And she's like, you know, I hope that works out for you. And I'm like, what do you mean me? I'm talking about our life. Like, and this isn't hardcore planning. This is like, you talking about, our future. And she just, well, I hope that works out for you.
Jimmy said that this comment sparked an argument between the two. By the time they left the bar, things were very tense. Amy decided that she would rather walk home than sit with Jimmy any longer. This was also confirmed by this surveillance footage, which captured Amy walking down the street, heading in the direction of their house. Amy arrived home at 7:58 p.m. She grabbed an extension cord and then went down to the basement. At 8:05 p.m., Jimmy decided to go check on her.
She's petting Louie, one of our cats, and what the hell are you doing in the basement?
Apparently, Amy was angry at him for slamming the door in her face as they left the bar. But according to Jimmy, it was just an accident. He did forget to hold the door for her, but he didn't slam it intentionally. Amy didn't believe that it was an accident, so she started throwing insults at him, and the two proceeded to argue for about 10 minutes. Nothing good was coming from this argument, so Jimmy went back upstairs, leaving Amy in the basement with the extension cord. About 25 minutes later, at 8:40 p.m., Jimmy realized that it was time to pick up Ashley from the football game. Before he left, he went back to the basement to squash the beef with Amy.
And immediately do that and started, check for a pulse. When I glanced down there, I saw there looked like a upturned kitty litter pail.
Huh.
Because I'm like, like I said, it was just so,
Sure.
The officer asked if there were any signs that something like this might happen, but Jimmy said that he could never have seen this coming.
Spent all night kind of thinking and playing back what triggered, what was.
Has she ever tried anything like this before?
She's never had anything ever. Like, we live a healthy lifestyle. We work out. We go rock climbing 3 times a week in Ann Arbor. We cook meals at home. We grow our own vegetables out here. Money trouble. No, I mean, this is like the pinnacle of best job I've ever had. I make great money. She's a stay-at-home mom. She takes care of the 5 cats, the pool, and is there for my daughter doing sports and activities.
Sure.
The officer then asked if he and his partner could do a more thorough search of the home, and Jimmy agreed. With the help of their new recruit, Louie, Jimmy's cat, the officer scoured every room in the household, hoping to find any clues that could explain last night's incident. They weren't able to find any bombshell evidence, but they did collect several items that belonged to Amy, including her computer and cell phone. Following their search, Officer Horn headed back outside to speak with Ashley. She was visibly shaken up by the incident, but the detectives needed to know if Amy and Jimmy had a history of violent altercations.
Were your mom and dad fighting at all yesterday that you recall?
No, but everything was normal when I left.
When you left? Okay. Is there a history of the fighting or arguing or anything like that? Nothing ever? Okay.
The officer also asked about Amy's state of mind, but Ashley said that even though her mom was a deeply introverted person, she had always been emotionally stable. This interview wasn't as fruitful as the officers had hoped, but shortly after, they were approached by several of Amy's family members. They said that Jimmy waited 14 hours to tell them about the incident. As soon as they heard the news, they rushed over to the police department because they had an abundance of useful information for the police. The investigators learned that back in 1997, when Amy was just 13, she had a son named Caleb. Her parents looked after Caleb while she attended high school in Ocala, Florida. By the end of high school, she began dating Jimmy, who had no problem becoming a father figure to Caleb. When Amy was 19, they had Ashley, and from that point on, Amy stayed home to take care of the kids while Jimmy worked. However, according to Amy's family, this wasn't her choice. They believed that Jimmy was a controlling husband who didn't want Amy to become financially independent. He would monitor everything the family did, from their social media activity to what they were eating throughout the day. He would also discipline the kids if he believed they were misbehaving, frequently taking things too far. Whenever Amy stood up to Jimmy, her opinion didn't seem to matter. Whatever Jimmy wanted, Jimmy got. So when Caleb turned 17, he left to stay with his grandparents. Jimmy retaliated, telling Amy that she was no longer allowed to speak with her family, including Caleb. One of the last times Caleb saw her was at his high school graduation a year before the incident. But other than that, Amy had minimal involvement in Caleb's life. All of this evidence was extremely damning for Jimmy. It wouldn't be a surprise if an abusive and controlling husband tried to murder his wife. But if the police wanted to bulletproof their case against Jimmy, they needed to answer one big question. What was Jimmy's motive? Unfortunately, before the investigators could answer this question, they received tragic news. On September 17, 2018, after being unresponsive for 3 days, Amy was taken off of life support and pronounced dead. With a possible homicide now on their hands, the authorities pressed on with their investigation. They decided to look for answers in Amy's cell phone. In her text with Jimmy, his controlling behavior was on full display. He had somehow been tracking Amy's every move. He would frequently text Amy her exact location and ask her why she was there. Despite all of Jimmy's torment, Amy seemed completely fine in her other conversations. This evidence strengthened the case against Jimmy, but the detectives still couldn't pinpoint an exact motive. That was until they looked through a conversation with a man named George. George was a married man from the East Coast that Amy had met online and had been texting for the past 3 years. Based on the explicit content of the messages, it was clear that they were having an affair. Even on the day of the incident, Amy and George were consistently texting and calling each other. While Amy was having dinner with her family at 5:07 p.m., George texted her saying, "I wish we could be together right now." At 5:29 p.m., Amy responded with, "I'm excited to see you again." And remember when Amy began texting somebody during the argument at JR's Grill and Pub? It turns out that she was texting George, even with Jimmy sitting directly beside her. From these findings, a new theory emerged. Perhaps Jimmy had caught a glimpse of these text conversations and was overcome with anger, which ultimately led to him attacking Amy in the basement. The investigators were eager to ask Jimmy some more questions, but they ran into a small problem. Jimmy was nowhere to be found. It turns out that just a few days after the incident, Jimmy and Ashley packed their belongings, including their 5 cats, and headed back to their hometown, Ocala, Florida, to stay with family. Thankfully, the authorities were easily able to get in touch with Jimmy to arrange another interview. He told them that he would be back in Michigan in a few weeks to grab some of his stuff. Since the Tecumseh Police Department had limited personnel and resources, the Michigan State Police had taken over the investigation, and Detective Larry Rothman was put on the case. 1 month after Amy's death, he met Jimmy at the station for a formal interview. During his stay in Florida, Jimmy had plenty of time to reflect on his relationship with Amy, and he was forthright with the detective about his shortcomings.
It wasn't so inner focused and self-focused, and maybe I could have seen some things that were going on that maybe could have clued me into what my wife was in so much turmoil that I couldn't even see it. I mean, that's how it feels. Like, I don't even know who I am.
It's hard to believe this statement from Jimmy, because moments later, when asked to describe himself, he gives an awfully detailed answer.
Describe yourself. What kind of a person are you?
I would say I'm a type A personality. I like structure, organization. I'm ambitious. Always seeking to improve myself and others around me. That's why all this is so pressing to me, is because, like, I had really taken measures in the last couple of years to, like, make sure that myself, my family were, like, mentally healthy, like, pursuing things that not only get you physical, like, but helping others, being kind, making it, like I said, making the same thing, that type of person I am, making a positive impact on people.
Without a doubt, Jimmy's obsession with creating the perfect family was immensely toxic. However, Jimmy seemed to take pride in this toxic behavior, framing it as a strength. He believed that his role in the family was to hold them to a higher standard. No matter how much Jimmy painted himself as an upstanding family man, the detectives weren't buying it.
Looking back now, where you're at now, does anything pop out at you?
Yeah, there's, I mean, my wife had some issues, and
what kind of issues?
She struggled from like social anxiety, so she's been like that for years. She's just extremely shy, introverted person. She never developed relationships. Even when we were in Ocala, she didn't have any friends. She was playing, like, video games compulsively, that World of Warcraft thing. That got out of hand, so she just sort of started isolating herself. She was playing, like, video games compulsively, that World of Warcraft thing. That got out of hand, so she just sort of started isolating herself. And so I had taken measures to, when we got up here, to help her break out of it.
Jimmy is painting himself as a valiant savior, guiding his wife away from her bad habits towards a healthy lifestyle. But as we mentioned earlier, everybody who was close to Amy said that Jimmy was the main cause of her isolation. While asking Jimmy about infidelity in the relationship, he revealed that Amy wasn't the only one cheating.
There was one time when I went to the Isle of Man and hooked up with this chick.
Anytime during your marriage, do you know if she was unfaithful to you?
I don't think that would be possible.
Why is that?
She didn't seem to have the capacity to, like, talk to people, man. I mean, she was, like, incredibly introverted.
Clearly, Jimmy underestimated Amy's charm. Later in the interview, the detective set the record straight, bluntly telling Jimmy that Amy was in fact having an affair.
What was your knowledge of her affair?
I don't think she had an affair. To my knowledge, I have no idea. I wouldn't think it was possible.
There was a lot of stuff that she had tried to delete there, but, I mean, we're talking, telling this other guy she loves him.
I think that you're bullshitting, but
I'm not. I'm not going to lie to you today, and I haven't. So
I'll just tell you right now, I don't believe it.
Jimmy seemed to be in denial, so the detective printed off some excerpts from Amy's conversations with George, some more risque than others.
And then the chats lead up to the 14th, the same day that this happened. Clearly there was something going on between these two people.
As someone who had a say in every aspect of Amy's life, he seemed completely blindsided by her secret life with George. He wanted more answers.
Can you pull phone records to see if there's any numbers that I can see that I don't recognize? And that's, like, to me, is crushing to think that she even has some alternate life. Like, I legitimately, I still don't all the way believe you guys. I don't think that she has the capacity to do that. Like I said, this is the most shocking, I can't even process it.
In a last-ditch effort to elicit a confession, the detective asked Jimmy if he would take a polygraph test. Jimmy agreed and maintained his innocence the entire time. Ultimately, the test results were inconclusive. The detective wrapped up the interview, less certain about Jimmy's involvement than before. Jimmy was allowed to leave, and he went back to Florida later that day. The police struggled to find any new leads, so they had no choice but to wait for the medical examiner to release Amy's autopsy report. That day finally came 3 months after Amy's death. It was confirmed that the cause of death was strangulation asphyxiation, but the manner of death was undetermined, requiring additional investigation. The ball was back in Detective Rothman's court, but finding more evidence to determine whether or not this was a homicide was easier said than done. He meticulously looked through all of the evidence, including the body cam footage. He stumbled upon the moment that Officer Horn noticed how low the basement ceiling was, and he suddenly had an idea. Rothman reached out to a forensic engineering lab in Michigan and asked them to recreate the scenario Jimmy had supposedly stumbled upon. After many months of preparation, testing, and analyzing the results, the lab determined that under the same circumstances, her feet would have made contact with the ground. A different forensic pathologist reviewed the same test results, and they determined that her manner of death must have been a homicide. On October 16, 2020, Jimmy was charged with 1 felony count of open murder. This meant that if the case went to trial, it would be up to the jury to determine the degree of homicide Jimmy is guilty of, anywhere from involuntary manslaughter to first-degree murder. By this point in the investigation, it appeared that Jimmy, who was still staying with his parents in Florida, had moved on entirely. In fact, he even had a new fiancée, and their wedding was just 5 days away. But before they could tie the knot, Jimmy was arrested and extradited back to Michigan. Once he was booked into jail, he was brought into a room to have his charges explained to him. When told that he could contact the investigators if he had any questions, Jimmy said something peculiar.
If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of us, or they can contact us. Okay?
It's how you sleep at night. Oh.
Well, I guess I don't understand that question.
Okay.
A few weeks later, at his arraignment hearing, Jimmy pled not guilty. His bond was set at $10 million, and he was put behind bars. Leading up to his trial, his defense attorney Daniel Guerin released this statement. Mr. Allen vehemently asserts his innocence in this case, as he had absolutely nothing to do with Amy Allen's tragic death. He cooperated with police throughout the 2-year investigation and provided evidence and statements showing his innocence from the very beginning. He has been in jail for nearly a year for a crime he did not commit, and he misses his family dearly. He is looking forward to the evidence finally being shown to a jury of his peers so they can see clearly that he is innocent and did absolutely nothing wrong. In September of 2021, 3 years after Amy's death, his trial began. Prosecutor Angie Borders kicked off the opening statements. She said that her team was confident that the evidence would point the jury to a guilty verdict. Defense attorney Daniel Guerin delivered the defense's opening statement, saying that there was no substantial evidence to support the prosecution's theory, and their case did not add up.
The people want you to believe that Jimmy Allen, for reasons nobody explains or guesses or understands why, snaps after 15 years of marriage, brutally kills his wife, goes up into cover-up mode, does all of this cover-up, and then gets the police there at 8:52 to start showing them evidence of this hanging.
They also pointed to Jimmy's search history that night, suggesting that murder was the last thing on Jimmy's mind.
The phone searches they get from Jimmy's phone that shows that he's looking at searches for Jim Carrey movies and other Showtime shows, the exact shows that he had told police that night that he had watched.
One of the key witnesses for the prosecution was Amy's son Caleb. He told the court about an altercation with Jimmy while he still lived at home.
I stood up, pushed him against the wall, and there was a second of fear that came over me, and I realized what I was doing, and I let up, and then I was spun around, or maybe I turned around, and then I was choked from behind on the floor for multiple seconds. It felt like forever during the incident, and I was gasping for air, grabbing for anything, trying to get away from him.
This story suggested that Jimmy had a history of choking people when he got angry. If he was willing to choke Caleb, it's reasonable to assume that he was willing to choke Amy as well. Several witnesses that were at the scene that night were also called to the stand, including first responders and neighbors. They all testified that Jimmy's over-the-top reactions seemed like he was putting on an act. Jimmy's behavior throughout the body cam footage supported this. There were several moments where he would be sobbing uncontrollably, but would instantly compose himself to answer the officer's questions.
I gotta talk to the cops.
On top of Jimmy's questionable behavior, Officer Horn also noted that Amy's injuries did not align with Jimmy's story.
I was definitely looking for any injuries, whether it be from a hanging or otherwise, and I really didn't see any sort of the typical injuries that I would have seen in a hanging, so I definitely took note of that.
Later in the trial, a hospital staff member that treated Amy agreed with Officer Horn's observations, saying that the lack of external injuries suggested foul play.
No visible injuries.
No visible injuries. Is that strike you as odd?
It was a red flag.
One witness that nobody expected was none other than Mystery Man George.
And was there an occasion where you came to know a person that knew Amy Allen on the internet?
Yes. We spoke online often. We talked about life, but we also, there was a little bit of sexual content. That's what we talked about.
For the most part, George and Amy communicated through text and video calls, but the more they got to know each other, the more eager they were to see each other in person.
Now, had you ever met Amy in person?
Yes, twice.
The first time the two met up was in spring of 2017 to grab some coffee. The second time was several months later when Amy met George in a hotel room.
I was here for work, and she had some free time, so she came to the hotel.
So you're at a hotel?
Yes.
Did things that happen at a hotel happen at that hotel?
Some things, yes.
Apparently, George and Amy's love for each other only grew as time went on. Even on the day of her death, Amy showed no signs of wanting to slow down.
I wrote, I love you. And I wrote, I want more of you. And she wrote, I love you too. I'm ready to spend time with you in person. And I wrote, good. Let's do it. And then she wrote, end of October. And I wrote, I'm in.
Dr. Elizabeth Buck also played a crucial role in the prosecution's case. During her testimony, she took the jury through the extension cord experiment we mentioned earlier.
The first question that Detective Rothman asked was, can an extension cord suspend 140 pounds? The testing was performed. The answer is no.
According to the prosecution, the results of her tests were more than enough to debunk Jimmy's story. When it was the defense's turn to call witnesses, they had Jimmy's father testify. According to him, Jimmy didn't flee the state because he was guilty. It was because Jimmy's family urged him to stay with them in Florida.
He seemed somewhat composed, but totally shattered, and almost empty, if you would. I'd never seen him like that before or since. He was almost non-responsive. He seemed to have lost interest in anything.
Ashley also testified on her father's behalf. The day after the incident, she had said that her mother had always been stable. But now, 3 years later, her story had completely changed.
Did you notice anything from your vantage point that was a problem that you behaviors or issues that you saw when your mom was drinking alcohol?
Two things. Yes, my mother overindulged in alcohol frequently, and she became intoxicated very easily and frequently as well, which would cause her to be not herself at all. She would be meaner and more violent.
When Amy was placed under intensive care, her blood alcohol content was recorded at 0.09%, likely caused by the 2 or 3 drinks that she consumed at the bars that night. The defense said that this was proof of Amy's drinking problem and that she wasn't as chipper as the prosecution had suggested. They also questioned the forensic pathologist who claimed that this was a homicide. To dispute this notion, the defense had actually reached out to their own expert, Dr. Francisco J. Diaz. According to Dr. Diaz, since there was minimal bleeding to the strap muscles of the neck, no petechiae, and no evidence of defensive-type injuries, he believed that Amy's death was not the result of somebody else's actions. The defense had called all of their witnesses, but they had a lot more to say in their closing arguments. They said that the prosecution's case was utter speculation, and the fact that Jimmy had 0 defensive marks on him was proof of that.
Anyone puts you in a chokehold, you're going to scratch the you-know-what out of his arms. Because you're fighting for life, you're fighting for that air hunger, and you're trying to stay alive.
They also said that even though Amy and George's relationship seemed to be flourishing, it was actually just a fantasy, an escape from the dejected state of mind that plagued Amy's life.
You know, the people want to say this was sort of this thing she was looking forward to break free. It was 3 years. 3 years, and they have 3 years to meet, and they meet one time for 2 hours. She was not talking to her family. She was isolated. She didn't have a job. She was socially anxious. And that is not to beat up Amy Allen. It is to tell you that she was living sort of a double parallel life. And we believe the fuse was lit. And we had, unfortunately, isolation, drinking, odd behavior, the guilt of a very graphic and long-term affair, unbeknownst to Jimmy and his daughter, that ultimately led to her very sad and tragic death on Friday, September 14th of 2018.
Both sides rested their case. Jimmy's fate was now in the hands of the jury. After about 6 hours of deliberations, they had their verdict.
You do say upon your oaths that you find the defendant guilty of the lesser offense of second-degree murder.
After this verdict, Jimmy didn't seem to know what to do with himself. He wandered aimlessly for a bit, and when it was time to be booked into the jail, he bashfully waved goodbye to his family. On October 21st, 2021, Jimmy was sentenced to 20 to 45 years in prison in the Michigan Department of Corrections. He currently resides at the St. Louis Correctional Facility and will be eligible for parole in the year 2040.
Just so you know, the hospital had contacted us a little bit ago, and the kid did pass away.
If you want to hold me, give me 3 or 4 days. I've got to pay estimated taxes. I'm the only one that can do it.
You just saw Lloyd Preston Brewer, a man worth more than $16 million. Just moments ago, Lloyd took the life of 21-year-old Garrett Hughes, and right now thinks he's getting away with it. But what this millionaire does not realize is that his own cameras recorded everything.
Hello, I just shot someone.
Why'd you shoot him?
He came at me aggressively in my parking lot.
Now, Lloyd will take advantage of any law he can, all to walk away from his crimes.
I mean, it's my parking lot. He's coming at me, and I'm going to maintain stand your ground all day long. What I hope comes out of this, I think this is a case for a grand jury.
On the night of Sunday, February 12th, 2023, Every city in America would be watching the Super Bowl, including Key West, Florida. Among the local residents to do so were 21-year-old Garrett Hughes, his brother Carson Hughes, and 2 of their friends. They celebrated the night at a bar on Roosevelt Boulevard called Conchtown Liquor and Lounge. However, the young men were completely unaware that in just a few short hours, one of them would have their life cut short. Later into the night, another individual would make his way to the establishment, 57-year-old Lloyd Preston Brewer III. Lloyd was somewhat of a friendly face around the neighborhood, but all of this would change when he made a shocking call to the local authorities around 12:30 a.m. that night, confessing to the unthinkable.
Yes, hello. I just shot someone.
Who did you shoot?
Garrett Hughes.
Okay, why'd you shoot him?
He came at me aggressively in my parking lot at Contown.
Can you tell me where you hurt him? Where you injured? Where?
In the stomach.
Is he awake?
Yes. Are you awake?
Okay, do me a favor. I need you to put the weapon away. Can you do that for me?
Yes, the weapon is set aside.
Despite the efforts of medical personnel, Garrett would not survive his injuries. Now all eyes were on the shooter. In the following hours, detectives bring Lloyd in for an interview. Through all of this, there would be one major question. Was this incident really only self-defense? And if so, did it fall under Florida's Stand Your Ground law? Florida's Stand Your Ground law allows a person to use deadly force in self-defense without a duty to retreat if they reasonably believe it's necessary to prevent death or serious harm. It provides legal immunity from arrest or prosecution if the use of force is justified.
All right, first, before we start anything, because formality, I'm going to read you your rights, okay? You get your water?
I got water.
I'm going to read your rights and go through this. I'll have you sign it just saying that I read them to you.
And Miranda rights?
Yeah. And then
I'll just sign it. I know what it says.
And then if you want to, I'll have to read them. It's a formality. And then you want to give us your story, I'm here to listen.
As detectives read Lloyd his Miranda rights, it is important to note that this is neither Lloyd's first time exhibiting violent behavior, nor his first run-in with the law. In 2021, Lloyd was involved in a domestic battery incident where he allegedly punched his girlfriend in the face and then retrieved a gun from the kitchen pantry. Fortunately, he did not fire it and signed a no prosecution agreement. In return, he agreed not to carry firearms or use alcohol excessively for 1 year and began attending anger management classes. This agreement expired in April 2022, and his domestic battery charge was dismissed. Even before that, in 2005, Lloyd was arrested for possession of methamphetamine and a firearm while he was already under a restraining order.
I have read this statement of my rights, and I understand that my rights are, or what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and I know what I'm doing. I promise. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Okay. And if I could borrow your cheaters? Because I can't see. All right. All right. Pretty much tell me what happened. And start, if you can, just start I guess the night that you were at Contown that night?
Correct.
Okay. So go ahead and let me know. Tell me what you got.
I was there for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I was with my niece and her boyfriend.
Okay.
They left. I am now single, so I hung out for a little bit longer to see if maybe a potential suitor might show up.
Okay.
Nothing happened. I was ready to go home. I noticed there was a lot of activity going to and from the back door.
Okay.
As we have discussed in the past.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So I went out back to just see what was going on. As you know, I am armed. nature of my business, my property.
Right.
I went out back, and there was not one. This was not a drug dealer, I don't think. Just a guy, and he had buddies with him, and there were cars, but he was in between two cars. There were people on either side, and I guess they were all together. I don't know. They hadn't come from inside the bar. I don't know where they came from. And he's in the parking lot, and on the building. And I said, "Man, can't you just go I'll be honest. Can't you just go in the toilet?" And we exchanged words. And as it progressed, he became more agitated and approached me. And I said, "Look, I own this. Stop." He continued to approach. I said, "I'm armed." It appeared as though he was reaching for something. The first shot went off this way. The second shot went off up in the air. To the best of my recollection, he was already on top of me. It would happen that fast.
Okay.
There's no doubt I fired a weapon.
Okay.
Because they wouldn't let me wash my hands.
Yeah, we'll do that after.
It happened.
All right.
I immediately, once he was down, did not continue to assault him, set my firearm on the hood of a car, awaiting the arrival of the police. I did not render aid because other people showed up to render aid.
Okay.
And I know he's got a lot of witnesses. They're going to say a lot of different things. That's what happened from my perspective.
Okay.
But I can tell you, he was on me so fast that my second shot went in the air.
Okay.
It was that fast.
According to reports, the building that houses the Conchtown Liquor and Lounge is owned by Lloyd's parents. However, Lloyd is a co-trustee and was tasked with watching over the property, in which he allegedly dealt with loitering and drug dealing issues in the parking area. As a result, he has made several complaints to the Key West Police Department in the past, and most likely knows a few law enforcement officers. Though despite what he may think, this isn't going to give him an advantage.
On my property, I stood my ground. I feared for my life. Period.
Okay. Just so I know, if you can, draw me a little map. You know the property. Draw me a map where it was on the parking lot. So if the parking lot's back here, like this, that's the rear parking lot, right? Okay. Let's say this is the door for Conchtown.
Where?
Okay, just draw it right there. Show me. It would say by the trailers or
no. So there was a car. You know the way the back parking lot is like this, right?
Okay.
No, not over here. Not. These are the dumpsters.
Right.
Right. Here's that Jeep that's been sitting there forever.
Yes.
It was approximately here. There was a truck parked here. After it happened about here.
Okay.
I laid my firearm there.
Okay. All right. When did you make contact with him?
As I came out, I was walking this direction. It started here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And where did it happen? Did the altercation happen like in the parking lot itself? Or?
In the parking lot itself.
Okay. So
not in the bar.
No, not in the bar. But I'm saying
Were you in between the parking
in between the cars, or was that?
In between the cars.
Okay.
Right here.
All right.
All of that's a matter of fact. There's cameras everywhere. Right?
Okay.
So all of that is a matter of fact.
Okay.
And then as he approached me, I identified I own all of this.
Yeah.
It's all my property.
Okay.
I identified myself as the owner of the property. I identified myself as being armed. He still approached and appeared as though he was going for something.
Okay.
What
did he tell you when you told him about what?
We were going back. Who are you? We were just going back and forth on this thing, and it just that fast.
Okay.
It was not a long drawn out process. It really wasn't. Because if it had been, then his buddies that were here would have, had they all come in together and had been a fist fight, things might have ended differently. But that dude was agitated already. I mean, you can test me for drugs or whatever. I don't know. I swear I hope he's okay. I hit him in the abdomen. I don't think I hit him with the second shot because the second shot went in the air. It was that fast.
So when the altercation happened, that you all came together, was there any contact with you on him? Did you grab him? Did he grab you? Was there any hand contact?
Not to my recollection.
Okay.
It happened so fast, but when somebody's coming at you that fast,
I got you.
It doesn't matter.
All right.
Now, if we're going to get into very minute particulars, that's what I'm going to ask for a lawyer.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you the overall scope of what happened. And the reason I asked for you is you understand the dynamics of that establishment.
Yes, I do.
And so you know I'm armed all the time. Nature of my business and what goes on back there. And really all I was doing was walking through here to see what was going on, to give you a call if something was happening.
All right.
That's it.
When you've
been in contact a lot.
No, we have. And you always tell me people have been doing stuff back there. We've got a good relationship.
In all honesty, I don't think they were dealing with anything. I think they were just drunk guys.
Okay.
They're local, I think.
All right.
And I can tell you, one of them's probably going to try to kill you. Based on.
Did they say anything?
The looks. And finally, your officer that did not detain me.
Right.
Really, he didn't handcuff me, but we went and sat on my back steps. Because originally I was looking at the scene, and the guy was looking at me like, yeah, I'm going to get even with you. And the officer saw it too, and he said, just come sit over here.
Right.
Look this direction.
Lloyd is likely deflecting the conversation to draw a sense of sympathy from the detective. Garrett's loved ones were understandably in a state of shock, but there have not been any reports indicating that they wanted to get even with Lloyd. At the same time, it is clear that he has a strong understanding of Florida's Stand Your Ground law, in which citizens can take any measure necessary to defend themselves if they feel that their life is being threatened. This includes the use of deadly force. However, as he maintains that his actions were purely out of self-defense, a certain piece of video footage will reveal that his recollection of events may not be entirely accurate.
Just so I get it right, you walked out of here, you were walking, you walked out of Countdown and you walk in there when you when you engaged in the
and he zipped his pants up and we had words and he came at me.
Okay.
And I mean, there's no reason for me to go with a guy that's just other than verbally, just, really go to the bar. They got 3 bathrooms.
I got you. No.
So I don't know beyond that. I didn't know him. He had no reason to have malice for me that I'm aware of.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people know me, you know that.
Yeah.
I did not recognize him as someone that I'd run into before.
Okay. All right. And as far as words, you can't remember what he told you or anything like that?
No, it was all... I hate to say it, but, in the heat of battle, in the heat of the moment, words are exchanged. Yes. Can I be verbally abusive? Yes. I can. But did I walk up and strike him to cause him to come at me? No.
All right. Okay.
Look at my size. I mean, no. And my recollection is the guy was a little bit taller than I am.
All right. Did he hit you? Did he strike you?
No, he came at me in a threatening manner.
Okay.
And it appeared as though he was reaching for something. Okay. But he was coming at me.
All right. And did you see what he was what he was reaching at or anything like that?
I did not.
Okay.
What do you mean by the threatening manner? Like what this could be threatening?
No, he's gonna have his words and yell like, yeah, we're gonna have issues. Because I mean, where he ended up to the best of my recollection, was outside here. Okay?
Behind the cars.
Right, outside. Now, you tell me if I'm incorrect. But yeah, so he obviously came toward me.
Okay.
Did you find him here, next to the building? No. You found him in the middle of the parking lot, which is where I was. Which means he came to me.
When you came out, where were his friends?
There was a friend. Okay, I don't know if they were his friends.
Right.
But there were other people. There were some over here and some over here, but there were cars here and here. That's my recollection. So it was like he was isolated.
So he was by himself, like standing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're not standing around watching him.
Right.
Was there anybody back here by the back door? Anybody hanging out back there?
I walked out. I don't believe there was at the time. There was immediately afterwards.
Okay.
With all kind of people everywhere.
All right.
Afterwards.
At what point did you draw on him? Was it here?
When I fired, he was about this close. Because I fired on him. It appeared as though he was reaching for something, and he's coming at me. And by the time he got that close, I fired, and he's on top of me.
Okay. Did he fall on you?
He came, yeah.
Oh, did he
my second shot went in the air.
Okay, so were you? You fell on the ground. Do you remember if you fell on the ground and fell back?
Yeah, he came at me. Yeah, because when I got up, but he wasn't on top of me by the time it all ended. He was on the ground.
Okay. So I'm just trying to.
Do you remember where he was reaching? Like, was he reaching?
It looked like on his side.
Okay.
Which is where I carry a firearm.
Okay.
I mean, there was no reason for this. This was.
Do you remember if you were holding the gun with one hand or with two hands?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Were you able to actually watch out properly?
I don't know. I will tell you what the best of my recollection is.
I'm sure it happened pretty fast.
2, 1.
Okay.
I mean, it was that fast.
And just to get, so you walking towards him, yeah.
I'm not walking toward him, he's walking toward me.
Okay.
Do you want to show?
Like, I'm trying to get, like, did you fall? You said you got up off the ground?
Yeah, because when he came, my second shot went in the air.
Okay.
It was that fast.
Even though Lloyd is completely unaware that Garrett has passed at this point in time, one would normally be at least somewhat emotional after an incident like this, but Lloyd appears indifferent to the entire ordeal. He seems to think that he's in control of the interrogation and confidently affirms that his account is exactly what happened. However, he has also forgotten the fact that there are security cameras posted outside of the bar, facing directly toward the parking lot. Luckily, the entire ordeal was caught on video, and Lloyd has nowhere to hide.
And I'm going to maintain stand your ground all day long. I mean, it's my parking lot. He's coming at me. What I hope comes out of this, I understand your job. And I understand friends don't cross that line for your job. I think this is a case for a grand jury.
Oh, that's what we're here. Do you know my job?
Yeah. I think this is a case for a grand jury to investigate all of the facts.
This is something that we get all the facts. We get everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We put everything together.
And you know,
and before we do anything,
I don't want to go to jail tonight, but you know I'm not going anywhere. So Take it to a grand jury.
Well, that's up to the state, Preston. We put everything together, we take it to the state, then they make that decision.
But you know, this wasn't a revenge thing. This wasn't one of the dealers back there. It wasn't like I was hunting somebody.
I got you.
In no way, shape, or form.
I got you. You had gone to the bar earlier. What time do you think you got to the bar?
We watched the whole Super Bowl.
The whole Super Bowl? Okay. How many drinks you think you might have had?
Probably 3.
3? Was it drinks or beers? What were you drinking? Beers?
I don't remember.
You just drink beer?
Oh.
Okay. And what time did you get there, you think?
We got the Uber at... You got my phone?
No, they have it, I believe. You got it in there? You got the time that you got the Uber? Okay. We can look at it. So you had an Uber took you there? So you didn't even drive there?
No.
Okay.
So the Uber took us... Now, at least we've learned, if you drink 1 or 2 beers, don't drive, because FHP is...
everywhere right now.
Lloyd states that he was at the bar with his niece and her boyfriend before the couple left the establishment. It was only a short matter of time after that when all hell broke loose.
I'm gonna do the swaps in your hand for the GSR.
I don't deny that I shot a firearm.
Do you remember what hand you shot it with? Right hand?
A gunshot residue, or GSR test, detects particles of gunpowder on a person's hands, clothing, or nearby surfaces, helping to establish whether they recently discharged a firearm or if they were close to one. While Lloyd has already admitted to pulling the trigger, GSR testing is still important. It independently verifies that he fired the weapon, reinforces the prosecution's timeline when the case goes to trial, and eliminates any ambiguity about his physical role in the shooting. In court, this type of forensic corroboration is crucial, especially if the defense later tries to dispute key details or shift blame.
And as you notice, I didn't run, didn't hide. Set my firearm down as soon as this situation was. Gone. Where's the recorder?
Right.
So am I spending the night at,
I don't know. This is what we're doing, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. We're gonna put everything together. Your story, their story.
It's one of me and probably 5 or 6 of them.
And that's fine. It goes to the state. We tell them what we're gonna do, and they'll make the decision of how they want to proceed. If they're gonna take it to grand jury, if they're gonna. Either way, we just, and you know how we operate. You know me for a long time. I'm not gonna. And you know I'm not going anywhere. And I know that you got plenty of roots here. So based on what the state says, we'll give them both sides. We'll give them, and they'll make a decision. And you'll know. So right now we're just putting everything together. You coming forward, you talking to us. We'll give them that, and then they'll make the decision of how they want to.
I'm not hiding what happened.
So. No, I understand that. You've always been up front with me with no problem. So we just put everything together, and then we give it to them, and it'll go from there.
And so here's what I would ask. If you want to hold me for whatever reason, give me 3 or 4 days. Here's why. I'm a one-man shop. I've got to pay estimated taxes. I'm the only one that can do it.
Okay.
I've got to be in my office. I don't care if you come and sit with me to make sure I don't go anywhere.
Right.
But I've got to be able to do that.
Well,
and that's not just for
I can't make that decision, and I'm going to tell you I can't make that decision. That's not on me to make. But it's something that we'll have to talk to the state about. Okay. And like I said, I've always been upfront with you. There's nothing to hide. I have to do my job as far as no matter what it is. But we gotta run everything through the state and through our boss.
Can I ask you how the fellow's doing?
Right now, he's critical. Would you consent to getting some buccal swabs from you for DNA?
No.
Okay.
You already have my DNA, I think. Why do you need my DNA?
Because when we do cases, we get DNA for everything. We just match up DNA in case we need it later on for the case. We have it. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. If anything, if we do need it, we'll do the first one and get it. It's not a big deal at all. I ask in case the person wants to do it and get it done with, but if not, it's just, if we have to get it, we'll just do paperwork.
I mean, there was no blood, there was no fisticuffs. I mean,
I don't think they did. We're not going to do the buccal swabs. Which is fine. Okay. No, perfect. Just take a picture of that.
Oh, you do have those? Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't have my phone back yet, or my meds.
As soon as they get the meds, we'll get them.
It's strange that Lloyd refuses to submit to a quick buccal swab, considering that he has complied with everything else. However, the detective isn't going to press the issue. In addition, although Garrett passed away hours before this interrogation took place, the detective is most likely not revealing this information to keep Lloyd talking. If the suspect knows the truth, he may ask for a lawyer before going any further. However, given his demeanor, he feels confident enough to speak without one regardless.
Does anybody else have access to the surveillance system other than yourself? For the parking lot?
No, I need to get in there and look at it.
Are you the only one that has the capability to do that, or is there somebody else that has access?
There is somebody else, but I don't give you permission yet.
You understand that we're going to need to be able to see that? You understand we're going to need to be able to see the video?
Unfortunately, that's one of the few spots that isn't clear. Because I don't have a camera sitting right here.
Right.
Of course, there's no audio. It's illegal to audio.
Fortunately, law enforcement does not need permission from the suspect to access video surveillance footage. However, their findings would leave them with even more questions, with one looming much larger than the others. Was Lloyd acting in self-defense, or was this a callous murder? The video footage shows an intoxicated Garrett walking into the parking lot at 12:26 a.m., still drinking, while making his way to the side of the building across from the bar, a building which does not belong to Lloyd. It appears that Garrett's brother and friend remain outside to wait for him. Within a matter of seconds, Lloyd suddenly comes into view and exchanges a few words with the man before setting his sights on Garrett. But it seems that Lloyd's hand is already reaching for the firearm on his waistband. Garrett slowly makes his way toward Lloyd, unaware of what will happen. It looks as though the pair is speaking, but only for a short time. Garrett takes a few more steps, in which Lloyd seemingly pulls out his 9mm semi-automatic pistol, firing directly toward the 21-year-old. Finally, he charges forward, taking them both to the ground. Though it cannot be confirmed, it does not appear that Garrett was acting aggressively toward the shooter. Seeing as Lloyd is somewhat of an acquaintance with one of the detectives, he probably thinks that they will take his word alone. But he has another thing coming.
So what's the over-under on me going to Rick Hotel tonight?
Hotel, that's a good way of putting it. We're still working out all the details, so we're not making that decision right this second.
I would like to get in touch with my lawyer. I've asked 3 times and was denied the ability.
When did you ask for that?
When I was detained at the scene.
Okay.
And when I was downstairs.
Okay. Who is your attorney?
I'm not saying I refuse to cooperate. I'm saying I would like to confer with counsel.
Sure, okay. I am not sure where your phone is, but...
I don't know.
Though it is not confirmed as to whether or not Lloyd asked for a lawyer before this conversation, he still agreed to sit down with detectives and waived his rights at the beginning of the interrogation.
Before we go, just one question I want to ask, because once we get everything and go to the state. When the guy came, you said the guy came towards you, do you remember anything or any type of threatening things that he told you or anything that he made, actions? I know you said he grabbed you something.
He was coming to aggressively get me. He was getting taller than I was.
All right. Did he show anything, like, did you remember anything, hand maneuvers, hand things? Do you remember anything?
It was just that fast, no.
Okay, all right. All right, so I think they covered it all. We can take you out there, get that done, and we gotta do what we gotta do. Also...
But I've asked again to speak to my attorney.
Okay, so that's fine. Then I won't ask you anything else if you want to talk to your attorney.
Well, for advice.
Okay, that's fine. If that's what, and that's fine. That's totally your right to do it. We're gonna go ahead and get you to the hospital, and once you get done with what you got to do, we'll get you. You can give them a call. So we'll get it done. Right now, we're not going to ask you anything else. We do have a warrant. We do have a warrant for the blood, which is signed by a judge, so that'll be done.
Do me a favor, Mr. Burr. Can you sign and date this for me? Just shows that obviously you're the person that drew that picture.
I don't have my glasses on.
You're fine. I can read you. You want the cheaters again?
What is it, now the 11th?
Today's the 13th.
13?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I will take that.
This could go.
What does the gunshot residue show?
What's that?
Gunshot residue.
That right now, it's not showing any negative on it. Yeah, and it could happen. Sometimes these kids will show negative. All right, Preston. Just so you know, I'm always up front with you, walking with you. The hospital had contacted us a little bit ago. I just talked to the detective that was out there, and the kid did pass away. So I just want to let you know that. All right. Unfortunate thing, but I got to tell you, I've known you too long, and there's no need to hold anything back. But we're going to do the blood draw. They'll give you your medication out there, and then while you're doing that, we're going to do what we got to do, and then see what avenue the state wants to take. Okay? All right. They'll take you now. The gentleman that went downstairs will take you out there.
What's the over-under on this? You're honest with me. What's the over-under?
Everything's going to be bearing on what the state, they're the ones that know the stand your ground law better than any of us. We'll present it to them and see what they say. Okay, we got their story, your story. You were honest with us with what you said. And we just let them go. It's the stand your ground. The state, we've had these cases before where they're the ones that know that, they know that law better than us.
Following this interview, the Key West community rallied behind Garrett's family. A benefit concert on April 8, 2023, led by local rapper Mike Stack, raised over $50,000 for a scholarship fund in Garrett's name. In a bittersweet turn of events, his parents later reached a confidential settlement in a wrongful death lawsuit, receiving ownership of the Conchtown Liquor and Lounge property, where the shooting occurred. It now remains permanently closed. As for Lloyd, he was charged with second-degree murder with a deadly weapon without premeditation, aggravated assault, and also with violation of a concealed firearm permit. When he went to trial, Lloyd's self-defense claim became the core of his legal strategy, as his attorney filed a motion to dismiss charges under Florida's Stand Your Ground laws. However, that argument has long since collapsed in court. In February of 2025, after a full evidentiary hearing, a Monroe County judge ruled that Brewer was not entitled to immunity under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. The judge concluded that Brewer was in fact the aggressor when he shot an unarmed, intoxicated Garrett Hughes at close range. The court ruled that Lloyd had no reasonable belief that he was in imminent danger, and a path was cleared for a jury trial on first-degree murder charges. As of summer 2025, Lloyd's legal team has appealed the judge's ruling on Stand Your Ground immunity, which has resulted in the case being placed in a temporary holding pattern. Simultaneously, Lloyd has also been granted a $3 million bond under strict conditions. He must surrender firearms, be placed on house arrest, and have no contact with Garrett's family. No further trial date has been set, as an appellate court weighs its decision.
Uh, well, I have my world buff, and I have my sage is 10%. So I think this will be my next 2 hours, I guess. I can drop a tent as well. So I'm not sure if I should even stream this. It's the most obnoxious thing you can watch. But yeah, that's how I do it. Right now, I'm kind of out of quest. As you can see, like all around level 34s. So, but I have a plan. I wanted to do the whirlwind X somehow. I don't know. Maybe I'll find another warrior. So, and I'd like to stream that one too. So, another possibility is I might join a guild and like ask them for help as well, because they probably have like players that are close to my level. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I have 3 talents, but damn, like what do I do? Should I mean, I can put them into whirlwind, but I don't have the spell, so what does this need? Bones. I haven't inspected any warriors, sadly. I wanted to do that when I was in Stormwind. This place is really rarely farmed, because I usually am here and then I switch over to like so my route is usually these gorillas, and then I move over to fuck up, and then I move on to these panthers here, and then the tigers. So yeah, I guess I'll close the stream for now, and yeah. Practically prepotente, poi mi guarda io.